So we're going to be doing two reviews today. One of them is the FAUX FAUNA. I think that's how you would pronounce it. Um, Let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong in the comments. But we're also going to be reviewing the Soulmate. The Soulmate's coming from Local Roots. Local Roots is a Massachusetts brand, and that is definitely a interesting one to review at the same time as reviewing one from Florida, which is the FAUX FAUNA. The FAUX FAUNA is a cross of the Heirloom OG and Banana OG, and then they crossed that to Sunset Sherbet, which is very great. It's a great matchup because the Sunset Sherbet brings this sweetness, but the two OGs crossed together brings a little bit of sweetness with the actual slap that everyone's looking for. Everyone's really looking to have some sort of effect, and this one right here is definitely going to have a very potent effect, very strong, later in the day type of effect that a lot of people aren't going to necessarily be able to enjoy during the day if you are a casual smoker. If you're not someone who's smoking a lot, then probably best if you smoke this one later in the day. Just probably the safest way to go about it. That being said, this one is definitely a beautiful one, so let's just get into actually fully grading. I would say that this one right here, for the look, I would say a 10. It's beautiful. It's very much easy to work with. It's something that is not super white like some people would want or what CRCs would produce. I don't see that in this. I definitely would say that this has a great shade of color where it's appealing to someone like me, especially because it's going to be something that I can tell has actual potential to get you high. Some of these clear dabs or clear rosin, as I should say, are just straight hot air balloons, just purposeless. But let's move on. For the look, a 10, very fair. I think this one's great. For the smell, I'd say it's actually very nice as well. It's not necessarily the thing that's going to be screaming out of the jar, but it is definitely something that's going to be very noticeable. The second you open the jar, you're just going to be like, wow, this one has a very funky, weird, sweet fruit, but mostly just gas on the nose. Mostly gas in a good way on the nose. I would say that this one, I would say a 9 for the smell. It's not necessarily the thing that's going to be just screaming out the jar, as I mentioned, but it is going to be something that is loud enough that is going to please anyone who takes a sniff of it. So I would definitely say this is beautiful when it comes to the smell. Beautiful when it comes to the taste as well. Very, very smooth, banana funk type of taste where it's not overwhelming at all. It's not going to be like a taste that is too funky, too banana-y. Neither of those. It's almost this perfect blend of the two where it is definitely going to be very enjoyable. Very, very, very enjoyable. I really enjoyed this one. I would say this one 10 for the taste. And one thing I didn't mention is this is actually from 710 Labs. This is from Florida, so big difference between this and the second one I'm going to be reviewing. But this one, for the actual effect, I'm going to have to say a 9.5. I would say that this one is it's beautiful. It has a lot of strength to it. It is definitely something that is going to have a lot of power, and it's definitely going to be something that puts you into a place where you're going to feel very you're gonna definitely notice it. Say that's the easiest way of saying it. It's definitely not going to be one of those air weird things that just isn't noticeable at all. This is definitely going to be very noticeable and very enjoyable. It's definitely perfect for like a long distance trip. Perfect for watching a movie. Perfect for doing something that's like kind of lazy. Not necessarily good for doing something that's outdoors or active. Definitely not something that's great for that. But it could be if depending on what you're actually doing outside. Say if you're doing some training where you need focus and you need to be alert, it is very, very good. But let me just take a second. Hi to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. I definitely will try to talk more to the chat towards the end of the live just so I can get this out the way as quick as I can before I have to go. But that being said, this one for an overall, I would say a 9.5 is fair. It's definitely something that I was blown away by, very happy with, and I would definitely go back and get it again for sure. It was from Florida as well, so goes to show there is some pretty good stuff in Florida. That moves us on to the Soulmate. The Soulmate is actually a very interesting one. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, it's a cross between the Pine Soul and the Wookiees. This one right here is not the best thing in the world. It's definitely not the worst. It's definitely something that I noticed has a consistency that is a little bit hard to actually get it to stay on the tool in a way that is kind of difficult. It's sort of annoying to work with, but it is sort of also something that is good in other ways where it's going to help overshine that part. So it is what it is. I would say that this one, when you actually are going to grade this one for the look, I would say about a 4 for the look because of the stuff is very wet, very watery in a weird way where it's not necessarily going to be attractive to most consumers. If you're someone who's buying it based on the look, you might skip over this one. It's more of a live resin type of consistency that is just not something I'm really happy with. But hope everyone's doing good in the chat. I will as I mentioned, I will say hello to everyone towards the end. I'm gonna finish this off soon. But for the smell of the Soulmate, I would say it definitely has this very weird, piney, funky cookie dessert type of smell that is pretty decent. It's not bad at all. It's definitely something that I would say is all right enough for it to get like a 6. It's not necessarily something that is good for most people. It's definitely going to be a very small crowd of people who are going to be like amazed by it. So it is what it is. I would say for the taste, it is much better. It is definitely going to be something that has a lot more of that funky, gassy, almost off-putting in a good way type of smell or taste, I should say. It's definitely something that is very funky and very noticeable and very enjoyable. It's definitely something that's very enjoyable. I'd go as far as saying this one for the taste is like an 8.5. Or leads us to the effect. I would say the effect on this one, not anything special. I'd say like a 7. Not anything special. It wasn't something that was jumping out of the lineup of different things that I have. It was something that was more or less something that I was blowing through pretty fast. It was definitely something that I kept on picking up, and it was definitely something I enjoyed for the most part every time I did smoke it, but it was something that I kind of was able to smoke a bunch of it and not necessarily have some super effect where I would have to give it something higher than a 7. I think it's fair. So, putting all these scores together, roughly estimating it, I believe it should be like a 5 or a 6, something like that. But before I end this, I definitely want to mention that I will be going live later on today. I will be trying to do at least 2 more reviews today. I have been a little bit inconsistent with that, so let's see if I can do it. But much love and respect to everyone. Hope everyone is enjoying the day so far. It's definitely early enough in the day where I should be able to also post some videos of the different strains and all the different products. So much love, much respect. I will have a lot more coming.